The next wave of applying machine learning and AI in your security defensive strategy is by trying to detect attacks after they happen. That is, if your endpoint detection technique fails to stop an attack, how can you know there is an attack happening inside your network? This is where another form of machine learning is applied that relies on anomaly detection or unsupervised learning. And this is simply the machine learns what's normal, and when something is outside of that norm occurs. It does not label it good or bad, but still it's a great complement to pull into a supervised approach to find something that perhaps a normal researcher wouldn't find or an antivirus product fails to detect. Anomaly detection usually happens after the attack compromises a machine and start moving inside your network, perhaps to find more valuable assets. Now, Microsoft's answer to this area is by implementing the Azure Advanced Threat Protection or Azure ATP, which was formerly known as Advanced Threat Analytics or ATA. Let me try to help you visualize how anomaly detection can help you detect an attack after it happens. Suppose we have John, a new hire who is a security expert and his job is to monitor your environment for attacks. The first thing John would do is to learn about your environment. He starts by learning about all the machines in the network, what operating systems they are running, for example. And he would also learn about all users and groups in your network, especially who is member of highly privileged groups like the domain admin and schema admin groups. Now that John knows about every machine, every user, and every group in the environment, John will start learning about the behavior of users. For each user in the environment, John would create a behavioral profile. In this behavioral profile, John will analyze which machines each user is normally using. What are the login hours for each user? Which users are sensitive? For each user, John would also learn who are his peers and who that user works with. And finally, what resources each user normally accesses. Now let us replace John with Azure Advanced Threat Protection, which is an agent that you install on each and every domain controller in your environment. Suppose we have Alice who works in the HR department, and remember that Azure ATP knows everything about Alice already, her working hours, the machine or machines she normally uses, and what resources she usually accesses. Now if Azure ATP detects that Alice is logging from the CFO machine, Azure ATP will immediately detect an anomaly and raise an alert to the security team, because that might mean that an attacker compromises her machine and credential and using some techniques like pass the hash to move to the CFO machine, which Alice normally won't do. The same thing will happen if Azure detects that Alice is trying to access the finance file share, which is an anomaly, as Azure ATP knows through its learning phase that Alice normally does not access the finance share. Azure ATP is a great tool to have in your environment, and it complements other security measures and controls that you already have. Azure ATP agents start by collecting logs from your domain controllers and other resources. Then the analyze and learn phase kick off, and this is when Azure ATP agents learn about the environment. The third phase is when detection happened due to an anomaly, in which case you will get alerted and provided with a comprehensive dashboard to track what is happening. The final stage is integration. This is where Azure ATP integrates with Microsoft Defender ATP so that you can have identity-based protection with Azure ATP and machine or endpoint-based protection with Microsoft ATP.